Hello and welcome to Figure Skating Mess. At Junior Worlds we got to see a bunch of future stars in figure skating, and let me tell you, some of them are already shining bright. Let's begin with the winner of the women's event, Mao Shimada from Japan. Her free program was absolutely unbelievable. It was so good that she currently has the season best of the free program and total scores of all women this season, both juniors and seniors. And rightfully so. She has great jumps, amazing spins, they are so incredibly fast. She has good skating skills and also good artistry. But what I find most promising about her is that she performed those complex Ultra C elements not due to zero body weight, but due to strength, speed and proper technique, which means that she is very likely to be jumping those elements if she can stay injury free when she's a senior too, because if she's relying on strength she will get even stronger of course when she grows and goes through puberty, in contrast to girls who jumps triple axels and quads because they basically weigh zero. But all those girls loses their jumps when they go through puberty and they start to grow. But Mao is someone I see actually being able to keep those jumps and maybe even improve them, which is very exciting. So currently she is the best woman in both junior and senior, and despite that she is not eligible to go to Olympics 2026. Because due to the new rules, you have to turn 17 before the 1st of July that season, and she is born in October. I do think it's good to have at least 16 as an age minimum, because you know the Kamila Valieva scandal where she couldn't get proper consequences for doping due to being a protected person because she was under the age of 16. I think you have to be, you know, if you are at adult competitions, you do have to be able to face adult consequences. So I think 16 is a good minimum and maybe the right one. Maybe 17 is too high. Write in the comments down below what you think. I'm very conflicted by this. But let's move on to the girl in second place. Here we find Korea's Jia Shin, who actually was second last year too, and she also won the silver medal at Junior Grand Prix final this year. So this girl has a lot of silver medals, and what I love about her is her skating skills. She's so smooth and fast, and I also love her jumps. She has good technique and she flies high into the sky, and I feel like her skating is filled with, I don't know, some sort of joy and liveliness she has to herself. What I do think she has to work on is her artistry, so she stands out, because currently there are a lot of both junior and senior Korean girls who have good technique, they have good jumps, good skating skills, and they are very pretty and lovely on the ice and they skate to classical music. But when like there are 5, 6, 7 girls like that, it's hard to stand out and people to remember you. So I do think she has to work on bringing more personality to the ice, and I think that's something she can do. I know she's gonna work with an American choreographer, I think, this summer, so I do have hopes. And she actually is someone who will be able to go to Olympics 2026, because she will have turned 17 before the 1st of July 2025. So that's exciting, but once again, where that she can be there and not Mao. In third place, we have another Japanese girl, that is Ami Nakai, whose short program is so cute. Like, I die almost of the sweetness overload in this program. Unfortunately, she fell on her triple axel in the free, and she is one of those girls who I believe is gonna lose her triple axel when she grows if she doesn't change her technique, because she relies heavily on a little body weight. And then in fourth place we find Jia Shin from Korea, who, first of all, we have to talk about her dresses. Her dress in the short program, like, It's one of the best things I've ever seen. The snowflakes, the sparkles, the glitter, the blue color, everything is magnificent. This dress exceeded all of my expectations. I already have high expectations when it comes to Korean dresses because they're always the best, but this was on another level. And her free program dress was beautiful too. And in addition to having spectacular dresses, she also performed a clean triple axel. In 5th place we find the 3rd Korean of this event, Eunsoo Lee, my darling. If I wasn't already dead from cuteness from Ami Nakai's show program, I definitely would be after her free. She lip syncs to Cats and she is in character all throughout the program. You can tell that she loves what she's doing and she is putting on a show like no other here at Junior World. This is actually one of my favorite programs throughout the season, both seniors and juniors, like at least my top 10, because she sells it so much. And this is someone who I think will have a bright future because of this. Here she stands out from the other Korean girls. If you remember, I talked about it before, where a lot of them are like very lovely and good skaters, but they're all very similar in a sort of way. They have the same packaging, but she is something unique. You remember her, and that is so important in skating. And I personally think that she deserved even more points for her show that she put on here, because it is so difficult to not only do these complex jumps but do them at the same time as you are performing, because that takes a lot of energy and focus. And she got the 2nd best score for her presentation and interpretation in the free, but I do believe it should be have more distance between her and Ami in 3rd and Yuja in 4th, because it was only 1 or 2 points in advantage for Eunsoo, but I think it would have been at least a couple more, because as I said, she was on a completely other level than them. And all of the girls I just mentioned are gonna be staying in juniors for at least 2 more years because of the new age rules. So it's probably gonna be about these 5 girls, with addition to some newcomers too, who are gonna be battling it out for the medals the 2 upcoming seasons. And it's gonna be really interesting to see, is it gonna be the same medalists all the time, or are they gonna mix things up? Who are gonna develop more than the others? It's gonna be really exciting and interesting to follow, I think. Then in 6th place we find a Chinese girl, Xinyi Han, who is also known as Nini, and I adore her short program. It was actually my favorite short program of all the women here. It is spellbinding, and especially her spins. They are spectacular, like so glorious. And I'm really excited to see that China finally has a good, promising woman in single skating, because right now I don't think they even have one going to Worlds. So next season, because she is of age, she is currently 16, she is probably going to a lot of senior competitions, because she's gonna be the only like adult skater, female, that China currently has. Then in 7th place we find Switzerland, Kimmy Repond, who once again was the best Europeans at Junior Worlds, just as she was last year when she also finished in 7th place. And Kimmy is also the girl who won a surprise bronze medal at Senior Europeans just a month ago, and I'm very impressed by her, because it must have been a lot more pressure going into this Junior Worlds because of that senior bronze medal at Europeans, but she handled it beautifully. She managed to perform 2 clean programs, and she really shows that she has this competition fighting spirit, and she can be at the top of her game when it's needed the most. And I do believe she is one of the skaters who are gonna be a big star in figure skating if she can stay injury-free, because she has this kind of musicality that I think will only get better and better the more she will perform. Then in ninth place we have a very interesting skater, Inga Gorgenidze from Georgia, who I was so confused by in the short program because she tried a triple axel combination, but she fell in a triple axel, so she didn't get any combination. And they are so weird, the rules in the short program, because apparently you can't do a triple axel as a single jump there, but you can do it as a combination, which is just, it doesn't make any sense at all. And I don't think it was the wisest move to try the triple axel combination because of that, since if you fall, you miss out the whole combination, so it's a lot of points you are missing out on. But at the same time, if she would have nailed it, it would have been paid off immensely and it would have been a brilliant move, but it's a very, very risky one. But she showed then in the free that she obviously can do a triple axel. She performed 2 of them, one fully rotated and one with only a Q. But the reason that she's only in 9th place, except for her fall in the short program, is that at the end of this program she got very tired and unfortunately had a couple of rough landings at the end and a fall too. But I think she's a really interesting character. She has a really interesting long program too. It's very memorable with all of these creepy zombie movements. And I do believe she's one to look out for in the upcoming season. She definitely is someone who can challenge the Korean and Japanese ladies for those medals. Then I also want to mention Kaya Rutia from Canada, who was in 10th place. She was like really lovely to watch. I really enjoyed her. She has something, I don't know how to describe it, but sort of magical about her. She's very likable, and it's great to see that Canada has another promising young female skater because they are currently quite lacking in that area. And last but not least, for the women's event, I want to mention 2 skaters that I believe were severely underscored and who also unfortunately didn't have the best outings here either. First of all, Anna Pezzetta from Italy, who, the Lutz Queen, who graced us all with a beautiful, glorious triple Lutz, but then unfortunately only did a single loop. But the thing that cost her going to the final, because she didn't even reach the final, was that her step sequence was judged a level 1. And she has performed a level 4 step sequence all throughout this season. I have absolutely no idea what made this a level 1. If someone knows, please tell me, or were the judges just incompetent? But that cost her, honestly, the final. It was really sad to see her disappointment and not to see her be in the final, because I believe she was a skater who's gonna finish, at least I hope, top 12, because I think she's so cool with her powerful jumps. Of course that's risky, but when she nails them, it's just fantastic to watch. Finally, I also want to mention the Danish girl Babette Hansen Østergaard, who has such an interesting short program. Like, it's so unique and cool that she begins it with a very complex spin, because most of, or like all of the programs nowadays always begins with a jump, and this was refreshing, it was new, and she was committed to the choreography. Yet in terms of PCS, she got in place 33. She even has a cantilever. And yes, she doesn't have the most complex and difficult jumps, and she did have a fall, but that shouldn't affect the PCS scores that much. And it's so unfortunate that skaters from smaller federations who are so committed to figure skating, you can see the love for the sport in their eyes, and who are unique and who are artistic and bring something new, that they are rewarded for that. Because those are the skaters who brings attention to the sport. Those are the kinds of things that people and the audience love to see, when someone is unique and passionate and performs for the audience and isn't only focused on the elements. And it's also really sad because those skaters who comes from smaller federations, they have a lot less ability to train, because like if we take Denmark as an example, they barely have any ice, and I think in the summer she has like 3 hours of ice time per week. Like, that is not enough. But then of course she has developed other things like spins and artistry, but her artistry isn't getting rewarded, and then it's like, what should these skaters do? I get so upset by this. Honestly, I think it's so unfair, and I hope she continues, because she's someone who I want daily to stay in sports. That was everything for today. Write in the comments down below which skater you were most impressed by here, and which skater you think has the most bright future. And you'll see me very soon in another video where we will be discussing senior worlds. Bye!